everyone, and welcome to our Discovery webinar today. My name is Natalie. I am the Community Engagement and Training Coordinator for the Hub, and I'm excited to give you an in-depth look at our Resume Builder tool. So to access the Resume Builder and all of our other modules and resources, you'll go over to our website at communitylearninghub.ca. If you haven't had a chance to register yet, it's very quick and easy. You just have to select the Join Hub button at the top right corner and enter in your information on behalf of yourself and your agency. When registering, it's really important that you use your work-affiliated email address. Once the form is complete and submitted, please allow up to 12 hours for account activation. You will be notified by email when you're activated and ready to go. And then through the login button here, using the credentials that you use to register with, you'll be able to log in and view our platform and start utilizing all the Hub modules. We're going to navigate over to the Decent Work theme to see the Resume Builder. And then also for each area of focus, there is a theme guide, which is a best practice and evidence-informed research paper that gives you some background information on why we've decided to deliver programming in this sector. If you haven't had a chance to read the theme guide, I do recommend going through it, as it is designed to assist you in delivering programming to be the most meaningful experience for learners. Going back to the platform, we'll go to the Study Modules tab, and you'll be brought to our table of contents. And from here, you can select the Resume Builder module. So our Resume Builder allows you to create a fully functioning resume with your client in 15 minutes or sometimes even less. We do have two versions of the Resume Builder that are available for you to select depending on the type of client that you're working with. So for the basic version, it does include more simplified language and is ideal for folks who may have developmental disabilities, or maybe they are younger and this is their first time in a job seeking environment. Both versions of the Resume Builder do have a similar selection of job titles and duties. We do recognize that it is important for the participant to understand and discuss their resume to recruiters and interviewers, and that is why we have included the basic version. On the other hand, we do have the detailed version, which is an expansion of the basic version. It features a larger selection of job titles for the clients to choose from, and we do recommend selecting this version if your client has more work experience and a larger array of skills. Great, so let's begin with a demo on how it works. So the Resume Builder is organized by sections. You'll notice on the left-hand side here, we do have a navigation bar that allows you to select the different sections. And then the button with the 3 lines here allows you to see a full table of contents. So you can go ahead or you can go back. And for our first section here, we begin by adding some basic information about your client, including their name, some contact information, and where their current place of residence is. So you'll be able to type the information into each of these fields. Great. And then I'll also draw your attention to the second tab in the top right corner here. You are able to add either a LinkedIn URL or a link to a portfolio website if your client does have either of those. Once that is complete, you can select the next button to go over to the next page, but you are also welcome to use the navigation bar as shown before. In the profile section, we'll have the client include the objective they have for the job that they're applying for. Maybe your client is coming into the program with an objective in mind, but if not, that is totally fine. One of the wonderful aspects of the tool is this drop-down selection. And you can view that through the arrow icon. We have included some professional examples of objectives for you to read aloud to your client, and they can select the one that best resonates with them. And then the same applies for the skills section. You may type them into the field, or you can select some from the drop-down menu. You are able to add as many as you'd like. And upon reviewing, if your client decides to remove any skills, you can select the red minus button and it will simply disappear. I'll also just draw your attention to the arrow symbols that you may come across throughout the resume builder. Essentially, these arrow symbols are placeholders that indicate that you need to manually fill in the rest of the sentence. Great. Participants also have a section dedicated to showcasing their interests. Moving forward, we will be entering the certificates and licenses that your client has as well. Under the qualifications tab, we have included a long list of examples that are quite common amongst the general population. Let's say, for example, your client has their babysitting certification. You also have a section to enter the date where they received that specific qualification. In my experience, I find it's easiest to organize the certificates based on the date your client received them in, but of course you're welcome to fill in the resume builder however you and your client prefer. We also have a great section here for work experience. You may enter the job titles here in the fillable field, but you'll also notice that we do have a drop down again that features some common jobs that people may have. Now, something really cool that I'd like to highlight about this section is that when you select a job title from the dropdown, the duties section will populate with the responsibilities that correspond to the role that you entered. So for example, if I were to add administrative assistant, the duty section down below will populate with all of the responsibilities that correspond to the experience of being an administrative assistant. So as you can see, the purpose of this tool is to make the process of building a resume as simple as possible for the facilitator so that you can focus on the relationship with your client rather than having to stress over what needs to go into a resume. Great. So we have the same system here for the volunteer section where you can highlight work your client has done, whether it's at home, in the community, at school, or in their place of worship. We have a lot of emphasis on inclusivity in this tool so that people can have their experience recognized. Even if they don't have a lot of formal work experience, we want to showcase their volunteer contributions as these are also extremely valuable. And similar to the education section, whatever volunteer title you enter, the responsibilities tab will populate with everything that relates to what you entered in. And here, any kind of formal education or training that your client is currently participating in will go here. We have the ability to type in the school or training that they're currently a part of. And then you can select the details of that particular education or training. And again, we do have examples that give you the option to specify with the placeholder symbols. On our final section to complete in the resume builder, you'll see that we have a section for awards and achievements. As mentioned earlier, it's our goal to have the client feel as though their achievements have been recognized. So we do allow a lot of space for any achievements to be showcased. These achievements can be big or small, but they should be what your client is proud of. Let's say I won an award for being the volunteer of the year. So you'll fill in the details here, and you can also add a description of the award that your client has received. Another great thing about the resume builder is that you are given on each section a number of records so that your client can add as many as they would like. Great. So now that we've filled in all of the sections of the resume builder, we now have a fully functional resume that has been built for us based on whatever information we have included in the fields. You're able to preview your resume, and I do recommend going over it with your client to make sure all the information that your client would like is added to the resume. If there's something your client would like to add, no worries. You can go back to any section and add that respective information through the table of contents. We also have the option for you to change the color of the subheader text in the resume. For example, if your client is applying for a job that is more creative and they want to add a little bit of a personal touch to the resume. To see the resume a little closer, you can select the full view button at the bottom right corner. And this is a really good opportunity, again, to just double check and make sure that all the information is included in your resume. If everything is looking good, you're able to select the orange download button and you can download the resume as a Word document file, and you can print it off however you choose. And as always, when completing a hub module, we select the End Module button. And whether you are in the professional development portal, you're just viewing the resume builder ahead of time, you'll just have to select the facilitator that participated in the module. However, if you are in the adult learning portal or the youth learning portal, you'll just have to select the client that completed the resume builder for a formal record of completion. Thank you so much for joining me today for an overview of the Resume Builder. Of course, if you have any questions or feedback, as we are always open to feedback in improving our programs and modules, please feel free to contact me using the information that is shown on the screen. And have a wonderful rest of your day.